up and dance. Reminds me of, girl, you're my roller coaster. Girl, you're my chicken sandwich. Baby, you're my Cincinnati. You're everything I need to get up and dance. Have gone straight to my head. You asked me to repeat myself, but you already know what I said. Take a step back, you cool alligator. I tried to be friends, but you snuffed me at the cradle. Punch a sock and lock it, you don't own the table. You're about to learn first what they told you in my favor. Does the sky ever answer, or are we just lost in the race? Or are we chasing those flickers in cold outer space? Boy, 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 coming for the king, punching shadow demons till the tin cup rings. Boy, 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 you better get in line. All this trouble starts at your borderline. Stars at your borderline. My head swimming from these crushed up sevens. 2 more drinks and I'll feel like heaven. All this talking that started my engines revving. I hope God doesn't keep tabs after 11. Take a step back, you ain't no James Taylor. You act like everyone on the block needs to pay you. Put a socket and lock it, you don't belong at my table. You're about to learn first what they told you in my fable. Does the sky ever answer, or are we just lost in the race? Or are we chasing those flickers in cold outer space? Get heart's at your borderline.
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? I hope y'all doing fantastic. Happy Wednesday. I spent the day trying to get the audio all set up, trying to get the video going on. So if there's any glitches, make sure you guys let me know out there, okay? I hope you guys are having a blast. Shout out to James across the pond, our man from England. James, what's going on? How you doing, buddy?
Not much, just the usual. Been arguing with Muslims about Ramadan, you know.
Just the standard stuff.
Yesterday, how yesterday was actually Shrove Tuesday. Today is the start of Lent, Ash Wednesday, and we don't give a tuppenny fuck about Ramadan. You know, the usual.
I hear you, bro. And we also got Miami John hailing all the way from down south. Miami John, is it still cold? Are iguanas falling out of the trees where you're at? What's going on, John?
That was like months ago, man. It was only for like a day or two. We've
really
been nice and in the 70s and 80s, and
it's been nice. It looks
great.
like prime mustache weather where you're at, John. I love it. I see you got the mustache going on. You're all high key. You're all having a good time. What do you got going on this week? Anything crazy? You got any crazy plans? You gonna take the mustache out for a ride? What's the word?
You normally they go on the mustache for the ride.
That's right.
I'm
That's
riding
right.
the mustache.
That's
all
right. Well, I'm trying to set you up.
I'm not one of these poofters, bro.
Yeah, as James calls it. That's right. Can't be a puffer. All right, everybody. Let me jump in the chat real quick and say hey to everybody in the chat. We got Mr. Jeeky in there. Let's fucking go. Of course, we got Pat. Shout out to you, Pat. Hope you're having a great day. We also got FOMO, Forest Mommy, out there in Colorado. Unfortunately, I hear you don't have any snow where you're at, Forest Mommy, so I'm sending you some snow. It has rained here in California like crazy, so I'm sure some snow is coming your way right away. We got Clipiverse out there, 07 to you. Watched Riley last night on Katie Did's channel. She had a stream. I jumped on for a bit. Go check that out. It was pretty fun. We got Hillbilly Harry out there. Wait, I got it right here. I got the Let's Go Jared mug. Let's fucking go. All right. I'm getting ready to drop about 12 new mug designs too, so I'll be making an announcement about that on X. I just have to get them on the website and all that, so that'll be fire. I already designed out and everything. Can you believe that? Who else we got in the show? We got Paul Ogg out there. He says, what's more gay, this intro music or James? I don't know. I guess you don't like that intro music. That's Dr. Till right there. We got Carrie C. Oh, hi, boys. What's going on? Boys. I just got a new sound effect that did that, so we're going to do that. We got Third World Politics, which is Miami John. He's on stream with us here today. Who else we got out there? Did I get everybody? Paul Ogg, Carrie C., Pat FOMO. I think I got King Yeti. That's who I didn't see out there. He says no snow in Colorado, just 60-mile-an-hour winds, bro. Wrecks on the freeway. Yeah, we got that crazy wind going on right now in California, too, and I live up in the high desert, so it's windy as hell up here. It's been raining cats and dogs, which is unusual. We've had a pretty mild winter, and so I'm happy. I think we're through the winter now. It's going to be summertime, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, a lot of snow coming your guys' way. They've been chemtrailing like crazy. I know people might not believe that, but hell, that is what they be doing. They be chemtrailing. John, I mean, you know, they chemtrail down there in Miami? Without a doubt, bro.
Oh, everywhere. I mean, I noticed it more when I was in California up north, like in the mountains. It's like way more blatant.
Yeah.
Because you don't have, there's no clouds. There's really no airplanes that much going through the area. And yeah, you would definitely notice it up there a lot more. Out here, you catch it sometimes, definitely, but not as much as Northern California. Northern California was just like, that must have been their testing ground since it's very lightly populated areas.
Oh, yeah. And where I am in the high desert, we have actual cloud factories. They turn them on. They're buildings that create smokestacks, which are the clouds. Well, we got a shout out to Carrie who dropped us $10 in the Ko-Fi. Big shout out to you. I appreciate that. Hell yeah, let's go. She says, what does she say? She says she enjoys it too. Of course, Carrie's James's biggest fan. We love that. James, do you have some of that chemtrails over there, James? Or, you guys have miserable weather over there.
Yeah, all we've got here generally, if it's not raining, it's cold. And if it's not cold and it's raining, and most of the time it's cold and raining. Yeah. So, yeah. But I've got to put Oggy in his place, right? Oggy, listen to me, son. This is the Joey Cupcakes look. Go and look up who Joey Cupcakes is, right? This is straight up his type of look, mate. And this is why I'm the ultimate male. Do you want to know a story, Oggy? I'm going to tell you a story.
Oh, okay. Right? Everybody, James got a story. Let's go.
I popped into the chat last night, Dr. Till, because me and Ray have a different idea about networking. Ray's going to go on all these streams. And I said to Ray privately, and I'm going to tell everyone now, I would rather stick my knob, right, in a black girl called LaQuisha than fucking go on some of these dreary streams that Ray's popping on, right? I'm telling you, no fucking way. So my idea of networking, right, is to go into these streams, go into the chats, make myself known, be a bit of a face, and absolutely go to town on X, be a pal to everyone. That's how I do networking. So the ultimate male, right, me, the fashionista, pops into the Ministry of Dude chat, right? And it was like I was fucking invisible.
Oh, man.
And no one paid me any mind. It was like, have I been blocked?
Have I
been banned?
Did On the John shout you out?
No, Mr. On the John, right? This geezer, Mr. About this and about that and about everything, Mr. Canada, Mr. Justin Trudeau's best friend over there, right? He comes on our stream, right? And he's pumping out links like there's no tomorrow.
Right.
But he got me on the fucking pay no mind list, right? So I pops, Warfist pops in there, and Dr. Till's like, whoa, War Fist. He's like, whoa, War Fist, right? I hear you got good news. You popped the question to Dewey on Valentine's Day.
Oh,
So
shit.
Dewey and War Fist are getting married, right? And Dr. Now, there wasn't any sign, right, that he was going to pop the question. He's like, whoa, the ultimate male. I hear you got good news. I was doing my usual flirting, the question to Dewey on Valentine's Day.
Oh, shit.
And he got so jealous by my charisma and magnetism reaching across the pond, my long arms and snatching her away, that on Valentine's Day, he fucking proposed to her. He was that fucking nervous and bricking it because he knows I can steal those birds away just like that. So, Oggy, my boy, this is the ultimate male. This is how the ultimate male dresses. And this is why I get all the treacles and you don't, Oggy. And that's why he knows I can steal, you know, the woman you got is old D-Wag, who looks like a woman. You know, he looks like one of them tranny women. Doesn't he?
Yeah, facts.
Come on,
bro. We got
do me a favor.
We got Riley in the chat. He says, yeah, he's going to go on less streams, but he's saying that you should bully the ministry for ignoring you, James. On the John is so rude. Yeah.
I know there's none of them, right? You got that guy. What's his name? Johnny Rocket. Hey guys.
No, I love Johnny Rocket. Johnny Rocket's great.
I'm married to Haley. You know, an American Dad.
Yeah.
You know, I'm Jeff from American Dad. And it's like, dude, I've got more charisma than that whole stream put together, right? And you don't pay me any attention. What are you doing? If you put me on the stream, you'd actually get some females watching it. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, facts.
So next time, right? Next time the ultimate male deigns to make an appearance, put some respect on my name. Like Big John Fury says, put some respect on the name.
Oh, shit, people. You hear that on the John, Dr. Till? We got James over here beefing a little bit. We got Tank Ferret says he's so irate he broke space-time. That's right. Professor Grass says, shout out to you, Professor Grass. The ultimate male dresses like Austin Powers? Huh? Is that true? I don't know what he's trying to say about that. I think he's saying you look like Austin Powers a little bit. Oh, Riley says a little Johnny Rocket versus James fight. Okay, looking forward to being cut into a call out promo. Oh, yeah, that's right, James. We got to get you a call out promo, bro. I got to snap that together. You know, any kind of beef, we got to 100% magnify that.
It's just a bit of respect, you know,
Yeah.
Goes two way, you know, a bit of quid pro quo.
No, facts. And King Yeti says, congratulations.
No game. A stream that's got no game, recognizing a guy that's got game.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, you know, no game recognizing game.
That's right. We got King Yeti saying congratulations to Dewey and Warfist for their engagement. Yeah, 100% congratulations, guys. But, you know,
that's all down to me.
Yeah.
Because he was so scared and nervous that I could snatch her away. The ultimate male who looks like $1 million.
Yeah.
He was so nervous that he had to pop the question because he knows, click my fingers, they're gone.
Yeah,
they disappeared.
He had to lock her down quick because, and you pretty much let him have her, didn't you? You let that go.
We used to chat every day, and now it's like barely anything there, you know, because he's got in there, and he's like, and that's all down to me.
Yeah,
I make the marriages. We
got Tank in the chat. He says it takes a real man to pull off an ascot. That's true. Riley says we only got 15 viewers and they get 50. They're flexing on us, man. Yeah, you guys, we need more viewers so that we could go Mog Max the guys on Ministry of the Dude. Exactly like Riley just said. We got to mog those guys. We got to get after it. Carrie says, did you see the rock that he got Dewey? Yeah, he got her a pretty big ring. Did you see that, James? That was pretty wild.
Is it fugazi?
I don't know. It's probably real. I mean, I'm sure he's a respectable individual.
I heard those Scotsmen are a bit tight, you know. They're a bit tight with everything, isn't they? They're a bit tight with their money. They're a bit tight with the other, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It might be, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but, you know, it might be a fugazi, you know?
Yeah. No, hey, man, I'm happy when
I could have got him one, you know, fall off the back of a lorry. I could have got him a ring. No problem.
Well, you know, it's funny. It's funny you say that because some of the people were saying that that's what you got stacked behind you. And you were telling me earlier that, no, it's your tracksuits that you lift.
Right, the top shelf there, that's workout tracksuits. And the two below that, that's the going out flexing Joey Cupcakes tracksuits that I'm wearing at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's like showing everybody what's up.
The ones that all your wives and girlfriends like seeing me in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you need a little bit of spice like that. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, John. When you're out in Miami, you got to spice it up. That's why I see you got that mustache. You got a new little, spring in your step. The spring is getting ready to be sprung, and you're going to be out there. You could be, looking for some ladies, going out on some dates, getting into it. What's the word on the street out there? We're in Miami, John.
Not much. I mean, yeah, I just had to join the mustache world order. I couldn't leave the boys alone.
That's right. And you know what? I appreciate you doing that. I say all men, for this spring, grow your mustache out. And the few women that are capable of doing that and they're gifted with growing their mustache, you do it too, okay? Grow your mustache out. Grow your mustache out. That's right. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
No, but is it already hot down there in Miami, John? Is it already like spring, basically?
I mean, we'll have probably another week or so of like colder temperatures throughout the winter, but yeah, it's mostly 80s here right now.
Yeah, facts.
Like mid 80s.
No, facts. Yeah. Now, I was going to bring this up earlier, and what I was going to talk about. Is there anything you guys want to talk about in the small talk time? James, anything you want to bring up before we kind of go into what we're going to talk about real quick?
No, I just got my little bit of bants out there, I had to set that straight.
Yeah, well, you got to set Dr. Till and those guys straight, because we're coming for you, Dr. Till. We're coming for you, bro.
Professor Grass is throwing some shade out there. He's saying beard is the superior race.
Oh, Professor Grass, come on now. The funny thing about it is that he has a mustache too, right? He goes both ways. All right, so let's be real here. He's got the beard.
He plays for both teams.
Yeah, he plays for both teams. Let's be real.
Oh,
okay?
man.
FOMO out there says she has a few whiskers that come in random, but it's because she's Italian. Okay, so. FOMO, that's awesome. I don't know.
That's like my mother. My mother does nothing but complain. You know what I mean? Now she's older. My mum's 69 years old, right? And she goes, "Oh God, James, I've got this hair." She goes, "I've got this hair coming out. I've got this hair coming out of my chin," and I'm like, "Mum, I don't need to know that. You're my mum." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at the state of it. I've got.
How do older women deal with that? Do they shave? Do they go get it threaded? Do they get it lasered away? I don't know. I've seen
my mum, right? If she sees something on TV, do you get those infomercials where they go, "This is the new like Magi pen or ellipsis or whatever it is," right? Anytime she sees one of those infomercials where they got the new like shaver or something, I said, "Mum, if you keep shaving, you're gonna have a beard bigger than me." You know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta cut that shit down. The more you shave it, the more it grows. Because you notice as you get older, you start getting random hairs in your ear, right? So if you start like going at it, it's gonna come back like a forest before you know it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Mum, you got to take that shit easy, or you're gonna look like that fucking what's that character? Is it from one of those like Adam's Family? It. You're gonna look like it, like from the Adams Family or whatever it is. One of those ones.
Now, FOMO in the chat, let me know how do women when they get older, how do they handle facial hair? FOMO says like all of a sudden the damn thing will be like an inch long. What the fuck? Yeah, of course you get them random hairs. I mean, I haven't gotten any, but I know that other people get them. Uglier people maybe they get them. I don't know. Older people perhaps. I don't know. But yeah, FOMO, drop it in the chat, or if there's any ladies out there, if Blue Lotus is here today. When women get old, how do they handle that facial hair? Or do they just grow it out? I was at the library the other day because the library has this big-ass scanner, flatbed scanner. I scan a lot of my projects there. And there was a lady there with her young daughter, and the lady had a full-on goatee. It was a lady, and I was just like, what the hell? I was like, don't you have to know that your child is going to get made fun of like crazy in school if you're a woman sporting a goatee? But then I thought, nowadays that might be the in thing to have a goatee as a woman. I don't know.
Do you know the worst one? When a woman's got like a big mole on her face and she's got like 3 hairs that come out of them. So she's got like a hairy mole there, right? And you know what I mean? It must be.
Yeah, like you lean in to kiss her and you can feel it like rubbing against your skin.
Yeah.
Or even worse when they have a big mole in their tit or something like that. And it's just kind of all that hair out there.
I can't remember what that TV series or program was where someone kept shouting, "Moly, moly, 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 moly." Is that Austin Powers?
That was Austin Powers.
He goes, moly, 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 moly.
Yeah. We got Carrie in the chat. Carrie says you wax it, Ray. Duh. You wax it. That makes sense. And she says it's really painful.
Well, you bleach it. Don't you bleach it? You bleach it, can't you?
I guess you could, but I'd imagine you wax it. But I don't know how the hell we got on this topic. John, did you get us on this topic? What the hell is going on with you, bro?
I casted some magic spells, and we got on this topic.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I think we're all due a bikini wax, aren't we, lads? We're all due a bikini wax.
Yeah. All right. I got this video I'm going to pull up in a second. Let's see if this works, everybody. First, I got to remember, I got to change one thing over here to the virtual camera on the old
look at that,
Zoom.
the ultimate male.
on
The
the old
ultimate
Zoom.
male. Look at him.
That's right. That's right. Then I got to pull up this right here, and I got to full screen this. So bear with me for a second, people. I'm getting this thing done right here. And then we got to switch the scene to guest and video. How we doing? Does that look pretty good? We might have to move James over a little bit. He's kind of, there we go. Let's get him back in screen.
I'm more handsome than Shia
Let
LaBeouf,
me
and I'm
get
a
back
better
in
fucking
screen right
fighter
here.
as well.
All right, John, you say something to make sure we got this all right. Are
Yo,
you
can
in
you
screen?
see me?
Yeah, we can see you good. Let me go ahead and
Okay, cool.
get this. Let me get this all nice and there we go. All right, cool. All right, everybody. So I don't know if everybody saw this. It was pretty crazy. We had Shia LaBeouf. He was out in New Orleans. We're gonna go ahead and get this played, and hopefully
Reported
everybody
LaBeouf
can hear this.
punched a man in the body and another in the nose. He faces 2 counts of simple battery. Court records show he was released on his own recognizance before his first scheduled appearance in Orleans Parish Magistrate Court.
Now, did you guys hear that on Zoom? And did you guys hear that in chat? Make sure it's all good. But we
didn't hear it.
You guys couldn't hear it over there? Okay.
They hear it out there though.
We got Shia LaBeouf out there, and he's creating all kinds of trouble. And basically, what's going on with Shia, you guys? What's your thoughts on this?
Man, it's
Do
weird.
you want to go first, John?
Yeah, I'll go. When you told me we were going to talk about this, I just started looking up recent videos of him, just to see if I could find anything weird going on with the guy. And he apparently, he was into drugs and all kinds of crazy shit. And then he went all super religious after the whole crash out with the "He Will Not Divide Us" thing he did. You remember back in the day?
I remember that.
And so he went all religious, and he sounded like he was in a pretty good place, even as recent as like there was a con he was at like 3 weeks ago where he was talking about religion and about acting, and then now this. So I don't know.
Well, it seems like he goes in phases, and that's what I was going to say. We're basically talking today about you can't keep a good man down. And when Shia LaBeouf came up and he started in Star Wars, you remember that? I'm not Star Wars, but Transformers.
Transformers.
He was in Transformers. Do you remember the crazy story about how he got discovered?
No.
So he got discovered by, here's the story, is that Steven Spielberg's son was showing a video at his house, and Steven Spielberg saw the video of Shia LaBeouf and then instantly wanted to cast him into Transformers. Can you believe that? Does that make any sense to you guys?
It's kind of weird.
That's super weird.
From some of the videos I was watching, he had been in show business from like 8 years old apparently, but it was more just for him to like make some money because his family was kind of poor. His dad apparently was in a biker gang, the Mongols.
Yeah. So he was a 1%er.
He had a pretty rough upbringing. And so acting wasn't like a passion of his when he was young. It was just something that his parents put him through to get some bills paid. And then he kind of went all in on it for a while, like where he was actually really into it. Now I don't know anymore.
Well, it's like, it's kind of funny because we see this happen all the time, right? You see a star, they come out of nowhere, they have a big hit, then all of a sudden they disappear, then they're acting all erratic, and you're sitting there as we are on the outside, because all of us are on the outside, and we're thinking, what in the hell is wrong with this guy? He had these opportunities served up to him on a golden platter. Why would he want to go be down in like Mardi Gras, going crazy, drinking, crashing out basically, when he could be in $30-40 million movies, and go to great parties, have a great life? So to me, that reflects that there's something else going on. What are your thoughts on this, James?
I think Shia LaBeouf is a lot like me. We're different, but he's a lot like me in the sense that he finds it hard to like play the system, to play that movie, TV show system. He's got that bad boy attitude, hasn't he? And I think I heard recently that he's got personal issues with Mia Goth. She was filing for divorce, and then she wasn't filing for divorce. So that could have led to this. And also, Shia LaBeouf is a straight up tough guy. I mean this genuinely. We were talking about this off screen before we came onto the stream. And when he was filming Lawless, he had a run-in with Tom Hardy, because Tom Hardy is incredibly hard to work with. He's intense, he's passionate, he doesn't suffer fools gladly. And Shia LaBeouf straight up knocked him out. Tom Hardy's admitted this, go find it. He said Shia LaBeouf knocked him out cold. So Shia LaBeouf isn't a pussy. He's a straight up tough guy. He doesn't suffer fools gladly, and I think that's why you find him like making movies out of the system, because he's an intense personality. And it's like it's like we've spoken to this, haven't we? You're like, James, you should try and go on these streams. James, you should try and go on that streams. And I know it's going to be oil and water. I work really well with you. I work really well with John, on the John Clipper. You know, I've had no problems with those guys. You know what I mean? I know we're going to be like copacetic. We're going to be great. But I know certain people, it's just going to not work. And that's like Sheila LaBeouf. He's probably had a few beers and someone said something to him. And this guy's so fucking off his nut that he probably thinks he can beat up the whole bar. You know what I mean? And it looked like there was 5 or 6 guys that piled in and done him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't reckon one guy. I don't reckon one guy could do him.
Yeah.
I reckon it was a group of guys like that. Like I was saying to you off screen, there was that annoying piece of shit who was like getting in his ear with the phone. Don't fuck with us. You don't fuck with us, mate. If you don't stay down, we're gonna really do ya. And I'm like, mate, sit the fuck down. You ain't doing anything.
Yeah.
You look like a puff.
Yeah.
It was the black guy. It was the black guy that finished him off.
Yeah.
The black guy gave him 2 to the head and finished him off.
Yeah, we got Riley in the chat, and he says his wife Mia Goth left him last year. That's the reason for the current crash out.
Yeah.
He was a child actor on
See, I told
Disney.
you.
He did Holes in
Yeah.
Transformers. Tank Ferret says rolling in hard and battle steel will change a man. Yeah, I agree with that. He had a rough childhood, Pat says. We got FOMO. She says he probably got a bad batch of booger sugar. Man, and that's possible. I think that he was probably, obviously very drunk as hell. And so, probably didn't take too many men to get a hold of him. Let's see. We got Paul Ogg. He's asking, is he gay? I don't know. I think he's straight.
Paul Oggy thinks everyone's gay. He thinks all the tough guys are gay. It's weird.
I think he's just stirring the pot a little bit. Riley says she is a good rapper too. He had a huge plagiarism scandal with his Moonshine movie. I saw Moonshine. It was a good movie. And he went through a bunch of emotional growth after that. Watched his movies with fans and cried. Also, Peanut Butter Falcon was a great movie. If you guys have never seen that, I thought that was one of Shia's best movies, Peanut Butter Falcon. It has a lot
When he got really religious, didn't he, when he played Padre Pio? He played Padre Pio, didn't he? You know, the one with the stigmata.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that's when he got really intense and really. And you know, one of the movies, I can't remember. I think it was a cartel movie. He actually got the tattoo, didn't he?
Yeah, he got the tattoo. Yeah.
It wasn't a fake tattoo.
No.
It was a real tattoo. He got a real tattoo for a cartel movie.
Well, then we got Tank in the chat. He says Shia pulled out his own tooth on Fury. The Tank, it does things. Fury was a great movie too. I really like that movie. I thought Shia did great in that movie. He's a fantastic actor. And it's kind of makes me think about that, that interview that Dave Chappelle gave when he said that he used to look up to Martin all the time. And then Martin had that come apart, and freaked out and was running around naked with a gun in Hollywood on the street, basically. And Dave Chappelle leaned over, I think it was to Oprah, and he said, now, Oprah, let me ask you something. There ain't no weak people in Hollywood. So what would make a tough man crack like this? And I would ask the same question. What would make a tough man like Shia LaBeouf crack like this? And I think it's a lot of the hidden secrecy and a lot of the hidden things that they have to go through in order to be successful in Hollywood. And you might be asking, like, if you're out there in the chat, like, what the hell? What's going on? What do you mean hidden things? And I was talking to a couple of friends, and one of them knew somebody famous, and he opted out of a movie. And he was a black guy. And they asked him, why'd you opt out? And, he said, because I wanted to do weird things, man. And black people, whenever they say weird things, that means some weird down low sex shit. And that's kind of how it is. And so I'm thinking that's what she is kind of grappling with here. He's going back and forth, kind of like how Kanye goes back and forth. For a minute, he kind of gets himself together, puts out an album, then has a huge crash out, and then goes in a cyclical fashion. Is that what you're kind of seeing, John, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you said it. He came up through Nickelodeon, right?
Yeah.
We all know Nickelodeon is like a fucking, wait, was it Nickelodeon?
I think it was Disney.
Either way, it's both the same shit.
Same stuff.
They're both child actor, pedo farms. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
I think that could definitely be a factor. I mean, also these guys who do the method acting. It's funny you mentioned Chappelle. He also had a story about when he met what's his name, Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Have you heard that story?
No, what was the story he said?
So he wanted to meet Jim Carrey. He had always wanted to meet Jim Carrey. He thought Jim Carrey was hilarious. And then he met him when he was doing Man on the Moon, where he was just in character as what's his name the whole time? The old comedian. What's his name? Do you know?
Richard Pryor,
No,
Eddie
no,
Murphy.
No, Jim Carrey did not play Richard Pryor. That would be hilarious, but no. The guy who did the wrestling stuff for a while?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I just had his name. He was that one that everybody was wondering if he really.
He was on Taxi.
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So he was like
Richard Pryor.
He's like, I met Jim Carrey as Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
And then he made a transgender joke about it, which was hilarious. But yeah, I think some of these guys who do the method acting, they get really, I feel like they channel someone else into them.
Yeah.
And let a piece of them go out every time.
Well, and that's interesting you say that, because I remember when Jack Nicholson, he gave a little interview talking to Heath Ledger saying, be careful with the Joker, because when you channel that person, that character, it stays with you for the rest of your life. And of course, we know what happened to Heath Ledger.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. I don't think Jack Nicholson has ever channeled anyone other than Jack Nicholson, though, for real.
Yeah.
He's always just Jack Nicholson as whatever he's playing.
Yeah, he's always Jack
he's
Nicholson.
Great. I love Jack Nicholson,
Yeah.
but the Johnny Depps of the world, the people who really get into the role, you could tell they're all like kind of hollow shells of themselves. Like, I don't know if you ever saw Robert Downey Jr. on Joe Rogan, but he just seemed like not a normal person.
Yeah,
Like,
it's crazy. Right? The electricity's not there, right? And it's kind of goes to what Mr. Jeeky's saying in the chat. Mr. Jeeky says, what is the Hollywood equivalent for actors kissing the wall for politicians? And that's a really good question. And we'll start with you, John. What do you think the Hollywood equivalent for actors kissing the wall for politicians? What do you think that is?
Gay stuff.
Yeah.
Wearing the dress, kissing a guy on screen.
Yeah.
There's others too, but I think those are the main ones.
Yeah. John, James, what are your thoughts on that?
It's casting couch. It's a story as old as time, isn't it? It's the casting couch. My mother's got a book about the fucking casting couch. I don't think she's ever read it. She just got it because she was really intrigued by it. But she's interested in all that old Hollywood, and I think it's been there from the very start.
Yeah.
It's quid pro quo. Like I said, I'm joking with the Ministry of Dude, but it is quid pro quo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you do something for me, I'll do something for you. The only way you're going to get the foot in the door is if you do something for me. And something for me, generally, as we know with people like Harvey Weinstein, whatever you want to fucking say, that's how you got to do, isn't it? That opened doors for people.
Yeah, and also
would Gwyneth Paltrow, she's a shit actress. Would Gwyneth Paltrow have ever been a thing if it wasn't for Harvey Weinstein? There's some fucking terrible actors out there. We're talking about really great actors. We mentioned Jack Nicholson. Another guy that's intense is Daniel Day-Lewis. There is no better actor on the planet than Daniel Day-Lewis, and he is a method actor. He even had to leave acting and become a cobbler in France because it fried his fucking mind. These people, right? It's weird. To me, you and everyone in the chat is just dress up and make believe.
Yeah.
But to these people, it's something really important. Like when you go and see the Academy Awards, right? They have to do all their fucking political speeches, don't they?
Yeah. No, it's true. And that's what I think. I think what they have there is a whole bunch of these rituals that they have to go through. There's a famous one of Angelina Jolie when somebody in the room recorded her without her knowing it, and she was talking about some of the rituals that she went through, and some of the they would call them sex rituals that she went through. And that's kind of that's what kissing the wall is, I think, in Hollywood, is the sex rituals. And people, before you go through those kind of things, you don't think that anything can change you. You think, oh, I'll get through this. But it changes you. It really does. A lot of people, Cat Williams says, it's taking your man card. You can't get that back. I remember when, who was it? Patrice O'Neal, he was talking about that he didn't really fit in Hollywood. That's how come he didn't get successful. And he said, you either have to get yourself a Jewish lawyer or a gay lawyer. You have to be a part of one of the two groups to be in Hollywood. And he said that way back in the day. And so I've always remembered that. And that's kind of the truth. My own experiences in the industry kind of reflect that as well. it's a very powerful thing. That's why they call it Hollywood. And of course, you want to go back to a little bit of that conspiracy. But this is the year that conspiracy theories are no longer theories, but become facts. And I don't know what you call a conspiracy theory that becomes a fact. Maybe you just call it a secret fact or an observable fact or uncovered fact, rather. But that's what's going on. And so I'm thinking that's what Shia, I know somebody said it was Shia, but that's what Shia's I think he's going through. And like you said, James, he is a very tough man. And so he puts up with some of this stuff in order to, get the roles, get the parts, whatever. And then when he gets the parts, he goes through it, he holds it together as long as he can. And then, slowly it starts to unravel until he has a big crash out, like down in,
What was I saying to you earlier? It doesn't matter how successful you are. It doesn't matter how much money you make, right? It doesn't matter how hard you scrub. You can never get that stink off of you.
Mm-hmm.
Once that stink is there, right?
Yeah.
It ain't ever coming off.
Right.
It's in there. It's there at the worst possible moment. At your lowest ebb, it will always be there, and it will always come back to haunt you. Like I was saying I was using the streaming analogy. Once you go on these streams, once you hang around with these people, you get that stink on you. You get that Ethan Rouse stink. You get that steel toe stink. You get that Ricada stink. I don't care who it is, right? Like you're attached to them. And that's in the streaming world. And I don't want to have that stink all over me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's why I'm a solo guy. I do my own thing and I roll with my own crew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shia LaBeouf, he can scrub all he likes, but he ain't ever getting whatever's haunting him. He ain't ever getting that stink off of him.
Well, and the thing is, too, is it's not like Shia had a choice. He was put into the Disney machine as a child. Children don't get a choice. We got Pat in the chat. She says Shirley Temple, when adult talked about her experience as a child actor. Yeah, and it happened with Shirley Temple. If you remember back in the day, Shirley Temple was like a 7-year-old performing late at night in nightclubs. How about that? That's crazy. Riley says it's an open secret. Yeah. John, do you have thoughts on this or anything? Any input?
Well, let's get to the root of it. Like Hollywood, that if you break down what that is, that's the wood that sorcerers in mythology made their wands out of, right?
Yeah, the magic wands. Yeah,
that's why it's named that. It's all a ritual. It's all a ritual to bring you into the club, and then once you're in the club, then you have to do what they say, because then they have all their blackmail on you, and then you're fucked.
So now that you think that, Hollywood seems to be dying, right? And I know that nothing ever dies without being replaced, and it seems like, it's being replaced with all of these, could be video games, could be streamers, but, you used to have a little bit of peace and quiet because you weren't at the movie theater all the time, right? Nowadays, everybody has the phone or the iPad or whatever in front of their face, and they're connected to it 24/7, especially bad for the young people. So, can you start to see how the same patterns are starting to emerge in the streaming space? Do you see that or no?
Well, the thing about the streaming space is it's a lot easier to manipulate the streamers than it is the Hollywood people, right? Sure, you've said on stream before, they invite you to a club, but it's a gay club, right? And so they kind of gauge whether you're cool with that environment. And then the next time they might invite you to something bigger or more, quote unquote degenerate. With streamers, it's easy because all you got to do is streamer jumps on a topic that you want them to talk more about. You start donating money whenever they talk about that topic.
Yeah.
And then you influence them with money. And
yeah.
It's probably a lot easier to buy a streamer than it is to, get an actor ass out.
Yeah. You have you have the audience capture, you have the algorithm capture, you have the super chat capture as well, where you can kind of guide them. And then you see things like the abrupt departure from streaming, like with Kai Cenat. Did you see that? Kai Cenat, if you guys don't know, he was a huge streamer, an African-American streamer, really big. And then all of a sudden he decided to quit, to shave his dreadlocks off and go become a fashion designer. And the kid can't draw. The kid can't do, he can't even work a sewing machine. The reason why I say that is because he put out a video of him trying to work a sewing machine, and he couldn't even work a sewing machine. But all of a sudden, he wants to leave what he's very, very successful in and change it up and go into fashion, where unlikely he'll ever even make a splash. And so when I see that, I'm saying, okay, wow, he's being directed. he's being controlled by somebody. And if you remember, he apparently went into a red room or something like that, or met with Diddy, and then after that he went and did this. And so I was like, holy shit. Did you see anything about that, James? Have you heard about that? Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. I think it dropped out the audio. Let me go ahead and fix that real quick. I thought I fixed that, but I guess I didn't. Let me get rid of that real quick. yeah.
You just get called gay by Paul Logg.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? Yeah, it's crazy. Let me see if that brought it. I think that brought it back. I think we're back. Okay. All right, James, say something.
No,
yeah, we're
something.
Back. All right, great.
Something, you know. I was saying, don't get into streaming, boys and girls. You just get called gay by Paul Logg. But like, no, streaming is so weird. We talk about this so long, so many times in the chat, and that like how weird it is being a Main Street guy and coming into streaming when you're older in your life. And I don't understand any of these people. You know what I mean? Are we still on?
Yeah, we're still on.
Oh, right. I don't understand any of these people. You know what I mean? I didn't even know the thing about Kai Cenat, but like I follow a lot of the goings on and Kick with like Rampage Jackson and HS Tiki Toki and that crowd, and they just seem to have the magic formula. You know what I mean? When the next new guy comes along, like a Clavicular, right? They just get together. Who gets all these guys together in the same room? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rampage Jackson's there with Clavicular. HS Tiki Toki turns up. Ed Matthews is there. They got this 18-year-old kid who's putting it on all the birds who's just shown up.
Yeah.
They always seem to be in the same room, in the same area, you know, even though they live in different parts of the world. And like someone's putting all these people together, and they've got all the views, they've got all the money, they've got all the influence. And it's a crazy thing. The online world absolutely baffles me.
Well,
I just come on here, have a joke, have myself. You and me have got really good bands, so we get. But I don't get it.
Yeah.
That's probably why I'm not motoring. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's just a fucking mystery.
Well,
to
it's
me.
funny. We got Paul Ogg in the chat. He says that's an honor, James, an honor. But James, you just hit on the exact thing that I was gonna bring up. Is you see these patterns of all of a sudden all of these random people that don't fit together. You got a Rampage Jackson, you got a Clavicular, you got Neon, you got Sneeko. All these guys just all of a sudden end up in the same room together. Like
he's a rat. That Sneeko is a fucking rat. Did you see that motherfucker?
No,
right? I was saying this.
You got beef with
This
Sneeko too?
Right. Then he's a rat fuck, right? He's converted to Islam, isn't he? He's a Muslim now, right? So he started ranting about dogs. All these fuckers, right? Who gives them the code, right? Because it happened, I told you first, didn't I, where it's happening in Britain. It's happening in the UK and England, that Islam have now turned on dogs. And they said, we can't come to the country because the country's too fucking white and the white people got to keep their dogs indoors because it's not haram. So, and they were basically saying, when we get in charge, we're going to euthanize your dogs. And I saw Forest Mummies picked up on that. Now it's a big thing in America. They're going after our fucking dogs. And Sneeko did this really big video, right? He's got millions of views on it saying, keep your fucking dogs in the house. It's not haram. We don't want them.
Yeah. Well, what's the beef with Muslims and dogs, bro? Like, what the hell is that all about? Are they just afraid of dogs? Do they not like dogs? Is it because in the Middle East there are no dogs? Like, why do they not like dogs so much? Do you have any idea?
All I'm getting is videos now. You know, in Palestine, they put a bounty on all the dogs, right? So all I see on my timeline is videos of dogs getting beaten to death. And I'm a fucking, I've got to word this. Don't take this literally, right? I'm a dog lover. I've had 4 dogs, right? 4 dogs. I'm not in love with dogs. But
Hey, lover. Hey, lover.
Yeah.
Dogs and birds and whatever.
So much so, I got Ray to design a tattoo. I don't know where it is. It's on my chest. Is it that one?
Yeah, you got,
so
it's
much
right
so,
there.
I've got my dogs. That's a Ray design there.
We got
so. But like,
we got FOMO in the chat. She says dogs are better than them and they know it. You know, it's funny because I saw that a lot of the women in England or in Europe started walking with dogs now to protect them. Is that why they don't like dogs? Is because the dogs are now protecting the women more than the men in Europe? Like, what the hell's going on, James?
Yeah, so they can't snatch them off the streets and abuse them. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, all it is, right? It's such a weird culture in our country now where Islam and Muslims take precedent. It was like, there was even something today, some guy for a giggle, right? I reckon it was a Muslim who did it to set us up, but someone put pork on the halal meat, right?
Yeah.
And then that became a big issue, and they were saying we need more access to halal meat. It's always they always take more. We
Yeah.
never had halal meat in our country. Now it's fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a halal butchers around every corner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These people take.
Yeah.
It's mad, and they focused on dogs. Because for some reason they see that as as British culture.
I think
we
they're
love our dogs.
no, they're scared of dogs.
We love our pets.
They're
so
scared
they
of
want to take
dogs.
away.
I think they're scared of dogs. I think dogs intimidate them. We got Professor Grass asking a question. What's your favorite breed of dog, James? And then we'll go to you, John.
Safi.
Taffy. Everybody in the chat, throw down your favorite breed of dog. We got Mr. Jiggy says Great Pyrenees. Yeah, that's a great one. John, what's your favorite breed of dog? And why?
German Shepherds.
German Shepherds?
They're just smart. They're, lovable dogs. They look like an actual fucking wolf.
Yeah.
Like, how dogs are supposed to look.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. They're smart. Yeah.
Hot take, but I also like pit bulls.
Yeah. Oh, pit bulls are
Like,
great.
oh, they're a violent dog. If you raise them, with love, they're fucking loyal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll fuck anybody up that comes at you wrong.
Yeah. We got, let's see here. We got Professor Grass says he loves his wife's mini schnauzers too. Mini schnauzers are great. Blue Lotus says Dobermans. Oh, I always wanted a Doberman when I was younger. I love them. My favorite dog right now is an English Bulldog. I had one. He was fantastic. I love their personalities. I love how they're like big and stocky and they run around. Let's see, who else we got? We got a Staffy for James. King Yeti knew it. He says, I fucking knew it. He loves this. James loves a Staffy. King Yeti says he loves Staffies and American Staffies as well. Yeah, I'm a big dog guy. I love dogs. Love them tremendous. My thought here is that, I think like Asians too, for the most part, are afraid of dogs because they're not really in their culture, especially the big dogs with a big bark. And like the loud booming bark, like an English Bulldog has a very scary bark. And so that terrifies them, And so I think the same thing happens to Indians. I think the same thing happens to the Middle Eastern. John, is that resonate at all? Am I off base or is that kind of track?
Dogs, when you have a dog and your dog just doesn't like a person and there's no telling why, but the dog just has like a sixth sense about a person.
That's a great point.
Well, maybe they don't like the dogs because they are those people that the dogs do not like.
That's a great point. So the dogs kind of can filter and they kind of know and sense, like if you're not a good person, if you're evil or something like that. And so in order to remove the alarm system before they rob your house, they want them gone. That makes sense. King Yeti says he loves Min Pins. I love them too. They're great. Pat says German Shepherds, Dutch Hounds, fantastic. King Yeti boxers.
Boxers are quite cool as well.
Yeah.
If I dip my toe back in again in the game, I'm thinking boxers because there's a couple around here. They got two boxers and they're lovely dogs. Boxers,
yeah,
lovely.
They're fantastic. Carrie C says Belgian Malinois, or how do you say that? Malinois,
Malinois, Belgian Malinois.
See, I knew it was something French, but it's Belgian. I got it. Let's see here. What else we got? Paul Ogg says. Dogs are for tasks, not for inside the house, and their saliva and fur is impure. So that's a Paul Ogg's got an interesting take on that.
Is he secret Muslim? Secret Muslim?
Paul Ogg, are you Muslim? What's going on over there? Not that there's anything wrong with that. All right. Let's see here. Carrie says corgis are super cute too. So yeah, facts. I agree with that. Corgis are super cute. I would never get one. I want more of a masculine dog myself. I grew up with lots of opses when I was a child, so those were great. Yeah. What were you gonna say, James?
I was just saying, there's videos like Priest Sneeko, who was really into dogs. You know what I mean? Loved them, had them in his house, and then suddenly he's done a complete 180 because now he's a fucking Muslim. It's madness. You know what I mean? Who's programming this retard? Like you said, who is programming these retards? It's like they go from one extreme to the other. Me, I never go from one extreme to the other. I'm the same idiot I've always been. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, what you see is what you get. But with it, if you watch stream one, no one could hear it. Do you remember that? Do you remember stream one?
Yeah.
When like we did a whole stream with one person in the chat. It's fucking muted, wasn't it?
That was pretty funny. Yeah, we're growing.
Yeah.
Hit the like button.
Yeah, exactly.
Hit the subscribe
has never
make it
changed.
happen.
Have the three of us, right? I can't think the three of us will ever change. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We'll always
yeah.
be the same. But like, who's programming? You can only program an idiot. So I can't be that stupid because you can't program me.
Well, that's part of the trick, right? They use their desires to program, the stick and the carrot kind of thing. We got Cut the Grass in the chat. He says he's fashionably late, but not as fashionable as James. Let's fucking go.
Thank God. Finally a connoisseur. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, little
Finally a
little
connoisseur.
knuckle bump to Cut the Grass out there. Shout out to you, bro. Let's see. You know, that's right. Like Tank says, hit the like button, share it, subscribe. We're trying to grow over here. We're trying to get some bigger people on. I got some other interviews forthcoming this month, so I'm excited about that. A lot of people have been sick, and so they're all getting over their colds. I don't know. James, have you been sick lately? Did you catch any of that?
No. Does this guy ever get sick, right? I haven't, right? I'll tell you what, right? This is, no, I'll be serious for once. I won't joke, right? But I haven't been to the doctors, right, in 20 years.
Yeah. We got Cut the Grass.
You know what I mean?
He says the purple glasses are the chef's kiss. John, have you been sick? Did you get sick on that cold snap? Or are you still good? You going hardcore?
I had a little bit of just stuffiness, runniness,
and then you grew out the mustache, and you're back 100%, right? You're back 100%.
1000%.
Yeah, hell yeah, let's fucking
That
go.
instantly makes you Sam Elliott tough.
Yeah,
When you like cutting a mustache, you are Sam Elliott tough.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
100%. And then I was gonna move on, but basically what I'm saying is kind of what you guys are saying about this whole control cycle with Sheila LaBeouf is that there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that we would never even imagine is happening. You know, we all look at him and we think like he's just an alcoholic who can't control his alcoholism. But no, what it is he has a desire to create movies and a desire to act, but he has to give his pound of flesh to these crazy people in order to do so. And then every time he does, he like tries to heal up from it, tries to go forward until he can't anymore, and he has that crash out. It's a lot like how Kanye does it. You know, you see him going the same pattern. And what better way to control a man than to have children with him and control his children? And like, I don't know who, I think Riley said it, that his wife, that Sheila LaBeouf's wife, just left him and they have a child. So now he's going to be forever controlled by that relationship. And if she has ill will, the same way that like Kim Kardashian can control Ye a little bit like that. You know, he goes in cycles where he wants to deal with his kids, wants to see them, and then has to deal with her and her rules and all that kind of stuff. That would be a terrible situation to be in. Don't you think so, John? I think that would be just, the worst situation.
Yeah.
I'd have kids and then have somebody, the woman that you had kids with, use them as a weapon against you. And that happens a lot in America and all across the world, doesn't it? Or no?
I mean, especially when it's a woman as, wonderful and good natured as Kim Kardashian.
Oh yeah, she's a real peach, isn't she? Yeah.
Yeah, like God.
Yeah. Bro,
all of these Hollywood women, like they're all just the worst of the worst.
well, you know what's funny? Did you guys see that thing about? You made me think about it. Maria Abramovich, and she did that interview with somebody, and she was like all crouched over, and she's like putting her hands together, and she looks like a witch from Hansel and Gretel. I'll see if I can't find that and show
it's
it.
the kind of thing that if you drew it, you would probably get banned if you posted it anywhere, just because it's a little too on the nose.
Let me see if I can find it. But James, while I'm trying to look for this, you don't want to be controlled as a man, right? And unfortunately, we have children with people that we love, that we think we love, and then all of a sudden they divorce us or whatever and take the kids and get the hell out.
Yeah. But this is the thing, though. I've got a member of my family, right, who he's a cousin of mine, right, and his wife uses the children as a weapon.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right. So if he doesn't cough up X amount of money per month, if he doesn't provide them with all the things that they need, you know what I mean? She like cuts off access to the child, to him, to the mother, to his mother, to the extended family. She uses the children as a weapon because they've got an informal deal. You know what I mean? There's nothing finalized. They have an informal deal, nothing on paper. So it depends how she feels each month, whether he gets access to see his child.
Oh man, that's terrible. And so what does he do about that?
He basically treads on eggshells. You know what I mean? He can't, most of the time, he can't do right from doing wrong. but he tries. But she's like, oh, I need more money. It's always revolves around money. She goes, I need more money. So he has to like do more hours, work harder, cough up the money so he can get access to see his children.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's one of the things. But I was going to say, right, the most important question: do we actually find Mia Goth fit?
Yeah, is she? Do you think she's attractive? What do you think, James?
I don't know. She done those trilogy of films, didn't she? There was one like there was at a farm where they were doing a porno, weren't they? And I was watching it and I was going, I can't quite work out, right? Usually I'm very decisive, but I can't work out if she's fit or she's rough.
Yeah.
Or she's just in sexy roles, so it's like tricking my brain or something. So I was like, I'm gonna ask the lads, do we actually find Mia Goth fit or not? Because I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm hearing I'm not.
Yeah, no, facts. Blue Lotus in the chat, she says that's why a lot of men are avoiding dating right now and marriage, and that's 100% true. We got Riley. He says, thank God he didn't have kids with his recent ex. Yeah, that would have been terrible. That very, public. Yeah, that person would have been using them against you. FOMO says, those bitches who do that are demons. 100% agree with that. Hillbilly Harry in the chat, shout out to you, bro. Let's go, Jared. He says, my ex knew she'd cease to exist if she'd mess with his boy. And I believe it. Hillbilly Harry is a great dad. He's always there for his son. So 100%. Blue Lotus says, there's a lot of women out there on this level that are vindictive. It's sad. James, have you ever dated a woman that you could tell was kind of like this, that like all of a sudden you knew that if you stepped out of the line that she was going to punish you? And have you had that experience?
Yeah, my ex Amy, she was hard work. She was like, if you were to say she was my like true love. We were like got together when like we were young. I was 21, she was 18, so that's when we got together. And like she was the one that I thought was going to go all the way. You know, the one where she had an abortion behind my back. You know what I mean? That was when we like fell out. But like she was very like controlling, and she liked order. And she tried to change me. She said she thought she liked what I was about when we got together, but she tried to smooth out the edges. She didn't like the way I was quite verbose. She didn't like the way I'd make inappropriate jokes.
So what would she do? What would she do to get you back in line?
Basically, she would like not play ball. It was like she tried to distance me from my family, my mother
so
and
she
father.
tried to isolate
you know what I
you.
mean? She tried to isolate me and cut me off. Everything was done at her place. Everything was done through her family. My family were kind of on the outs, you know what I mean? And I was growing further and further apart from my own family, because you have to make a choice, don't you? You love this woman, but you don't love what this woman's about. You know what I mean? And it's like you see a future, but then you have to make a decision. Is it, my life might have been totally different. I probably wouldn't be streaming with you right now. I'd probably be married with 4 or 5 kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, it's that sliding doors moment. But you have to be, am I the type of guy that could completely cut off my family for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, you like this, don't you? You like this pussy, you like this woman, you want to be with me, I'm what you want. Well, there's a cost to that. And the cost is your family. Well,
Oof.
I ain't ever making that. You ain't ever making that decision. You know what I mean? You have to part ways with that. Because if you go down that route, you will be a doormat for the rest of your life.
With everything.
It doesn't matter how beautiful she is. It doesn't matter how great the sex is. You are basically going to be an emasculate, and she'll probably cheat on you because you become a weak man.
Yeah,
you become 100%. What you would. The thing she fell in love with isn't what you'd be then. You'd be like the weak man. Yeah. And she would probably cheat on you with the first bloke that paid her attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was never signing up for that shit. Even before she hit the nail in the head with having an abortion, it was like, you're gone. You're gone.
James, did she still have a relationship with her family? Like, did you have to go and meet her family and integrate with her family and do the whole dancing routine, meet the father, have the Sunday brunch?
Because you have to understand that we were polar opposites. She was country her entire life. I'm not. I'm town. Okay. So I'm town from South London, and her family were highly educated, university types, very well spoken, dressed right, had connections, knew all the right people. And as you can see with the people they know in the chat, I'm slightly rough around the edges.
Slightly,
you know
just
what I mean?
Slightly, just slightly.
Slightly. rough around the edges, you know, and turning up in your tracksuit and your aviators isn't exactly, you're right, darling, how's tricks?
Yeah.
Ah, you're right, mum. Good to see you, darling. You
Yeah,
know, slap
yeah.
her on the bum and all that. That don't really go down well. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's not exactly, you know, they're like, who is this ruffian in our presence?
Right,
Get him
right.
out. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, it ain't the movies, you know what I mean, where opposites attract and they get married. This isn't a Hallmark movie. You know, I tell you, Hallmark movies aren't real life. That isn't how it goes. We all know this, don't we?
Yeah.
You don't get these two polar opposites that find a meeting and they get married and they live happily ever after.
Yeah.
I'm the
Are you
prime
sure that
example.
I thought those were documentaries. What are you talking about, James?
it's like
No.
hey, there he goes, bro.
Right. John, have you ever had an experience like that where a woman tried to isolate you from your family or tried to like isolate you from your friends or any kind of relationships that were support so that she could like change who you were as a person?
I mean, I think that's all women, right?
Oh, no,
Like-
it can't be all women. You think it's all
Maybe not to the extreme, but at least a little bit. Yeah.
really?
I mean, that effectively, that's why my last relationship ended. Like, you know, boiled down to base level.
yeah.
It was that, just because I was there for my family through a lot of hard times, kind of like the guy everyone would go to for
was it
support and stuff.
Was it a class thing, kind of like what James just experienced, where he was you could see the apparent differences due to class in your relationship?
No.
Okay, it was
No,
just something
not at all.
else. It was just strictly
It was
like
just
her
strictly
craziness.
yeah, pretty much. She just didn't.
And why do you
didn't
think?
get along with her family, and then
Okay,
she didn't want to get along with my family. So then, if I wanted to go see my family, I would just go alone.
okay.
And then it just
Oh,
kind of
that's not
became
good.
an issue of, oh, you're not spending time with me, you're spending time with everyone else. And
That's
well.
crazy, bro. Yeah, women are crazy
Yeah.
like that. Do you think it stems from an insecurity of rejection? That they think they're going to be rejected, or is it the fact that they don't want to submit to authority? Like, because we know
I
when
think it's a
when you're in a family,
combination.
you have to submit to the authority of the grandparents, at least. You know.
I think it depends on the woman. It could be any number of things. It could be a control issue. It could be, you know, they don't want your family's influence on you because maybe like the Muslims, the dog is the alarm, right? The family is often the alarm.
That's exactly
when
what it
there's
is.
red flags in a woman and the guy is like all googly eyed, right?
100%.
Family will tell you, hey, this woman is kind of
Yeah.
nuts. Now that never happened with my family. They were just happy I was happy, but
Yeah.
you know, it's I think it's definitely it just depends on the woman, really. Like some just want the control, some, like you said, want to isolate you to kind of like change things about you. But I think all women kind of want to change things about the guy they're with. That's kind of like one of their MOs, you know, like they want to fix the guy.
Well,
the
I
broken
definitely
guy.
I agree with that. I think all women have a desire to make their mark on a man, and that kind of reflects that if the man yields to that you know they're in a copacetic relationship. But I could definitely say that not all women. Like, who do we got? Somebody just said that in the chat.
That was Pat.
Pat said it. She said not all women. Let me see, where did that go?
Pat, we speak in generalities, Pat.
Yeah,
We
not
don't
all
mean
women, John.
all. It's never all.
I agree. I've dated several women who weren't like that. They were great. They would come over, they'd meet the family, we'd have a good time. You know, they still let me. They never put any pressure on me to like not have my friends or not go surfing or anything like that. But I have, you know, when I went to do the whole Hollywood stint, that's all that those people were like that. All of them were like that. I've had people tell me, you got to ditch your brother, you got to ditch your family, you shouldn't associate with
that's
these
a Hollywood
people.
thing, no?
Yeah, no, and then it's kind of
Hollywood, they want to isolate you so they can
Program
corrupt
you.
your morals and program you.
indoctrinate you, and have you, you know, break those boundaries within yourself. But really, that's about like the whole cult thing. You know, it goes back to like what Shia's dealing with, what you know, what Dave Chappelle dealt with, what all these people deal with. As you go higher, you know, they want to break down your boundaries and then lock you into a situation that you can't reject them because they have some sort of blackmail on you. And so, oh, well, we know we'll ruin your life, bro. We'll release it that like, you know, remember Cat Williams and a lot of his stand up, he's talking about the first time he went to Hollywood and how he was big time happy. Couldn't wait. Was happy as a motherfucker.
Parties.
Huh?
And then the mansion parties.
Yeah, he was happy as a motherfucker to go to these mansion parties because he only came from back east. And if you know anything about Cat Williams, he grew up homeless for a large part of his life. He was, I think a Jehovah's Witness, and then he ran away down to Florida, I think it was.
Yep.
And then he made his way to Hollywood to do his thing. And then he was happy as a motherfucker to go to these mansion parties. Then he went to his mansion party and he looked in the wrong door that was open and he saw two male actors going at it. And he said, "Oh shit, not what the, I think I seen something I wasn't supposed to see." And then,
Yep.
you know, he did that, you know, famously, and he was calling it out a long time ago. And everybody were just laughing about it, thinking that that's not how it was. But, you know,
And then
that
they put him in the media. They made him look all crazy. And
yeah. And then if you remember, he
Yeah.
did that little interview when he was talking about a movie when he said that, like, you know, "Oh yeah, I know the Illuminati is real. Because, you know, you hit the Illuminati with a stick and they come at you like hornets and they sting you 1,000 times and all this kind of stuff." And he said, "I don't want to play with them people no more. I learned my lesson and all this kind of stuff." And so, you know, famously, you know, love Cat Williams and all that stuff. And then, but that's kind of what we're talking about, is the modality of somebody else trying to isolate you and then indoctrinate you or program you according to what their irrational cluster B personality is demanding. And you say you've had that. I don't think all women are that extreme, but we do have Paul.
Oh, not all.
We have
Definitely not all.
we have Paul Ogg in the chat. He said some women are worse. Paul Ogg, if you have a clarification on why they're worse or what they did or what you're speaking about, let me know. Like, you know,
Yeah, going back to what Pat says, it's not all women, but you best believe there are some women out there that are more cruel and more vicious than any man could ever be. And I tell you, if you come across a woman with a vindictive streak, you better run for the fucking hills, bruv, because they will ruin you in ways that you cannot even imagine. You could be like me, like, who feels like he's on the highest high, and by the time they've done with you, you'll be at the lowest ebb. You don't think you'll ever get back up again.
well, that's the truth.
There
Yeah.
are certain women like that out there. I tell you, you don't want to. I tell you, there's some women that are just pure evil. They are pure fucking evil. Not all of them, not even most of them, but some. You know what I mean? That are so fucking vicious.
Well, I
They
think
got a mean streak a mile long.
it's definitely like you have the normal women, then you have cluster B personality disorder type women. You know, the bipolars, the narcissistic, the Machiavellian. Those are the ones you don't want to fuck with, man, because if you have children with those women, they will use those as a weapon against you. We got Blue Lotus in the chat. She says, "There's a difference between constructive changes and destructive ones." Yeah. You know, women are programmed to nest, you know, so they find the man that they like, right? And then they want to nest and make a home. And so they want to make changes in order to facilitate a nice home life for them children that are going to come. And of course, as men, bro, James, you know this, we could just live in a one bedroom flat with a folding lawn chair, a TV, and, you know, a taco stand or whatever, right? But the women, they want all the fixings, right? Because they want the curtains, they want the nice duvet, they want the, you know, and rightly so. It makes it feel more like a home.
Yeah, they want to feather the nest, don't they? You know what I mean?
That's
It's like
exactly
with
right.
birds, but that's the thing. There is nothing wrong with a woman wanting you to be better. You know, maybe, you know, wanting you to work, get some nicer clothes, or have more ambition at work and try and climb the corporate ladder so you can provide for the family.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I actively encourage that. If they can help their man pick them up by their bootstraps and put a rocket ship to their career, it benefits the entire family.
Yeah.
But what doesn't benefit the family if you try and break a geezer down and completely change the person that you fell in love with? Because that's not the person then. And she's just going to swan off and, you know, find an alpha male, you know, and have an affair with him and eventually leave you because she's totally broken you down to nothing.
Yeah.
You want to find a woman that's going to lift you up, not break you down.
Yeah. And conversely, women, that's what you want to find too. That goes without saying. We definitely speak from the male point of view, but, you know, equally should be said for women. You know, women, you should get with a man who supports you, who doesn't like beat you up or withhold money from you or all that kind of crazy stuff. You should get with a man.
Basically the opposite of Ethan Ralph. You know what I mean? That's what you want to do. That's what you want to find, ladies.
No, 100%. But, you know, this kind of goes back to what we were talking about where, you know, that's that cluster B trauma programming. And you see it also in cults. Don't you, John? You see how, you know, if you don't act right, then they create a traumatic event to, like, you know, change your nature and reprogram you. So now you're pulled out of the present and you're always thinking in the future, oh, I better not say something that'll make her mad. Oh, I better not, you know, wear this. I better not burp. I better not, you know, eat a whole bunch of hot dogs. You know, I better not eat with my hands. I better be courteous. That's kind of how they do it, right, John? What do you think about that?
What's the whole happy wife, happy life fallacy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, no, you have to make yourself happy.
No, 100%.
Plus that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, change the things that are worth changing that make you a better person, sure.
Yeah.
But, don't change the things that make you, because then you're just pushing your wife away.
No, yeah, 100%. And also, she's going to lose attraction for you. You got to remember when the woman was, physically attracted to you, like with that polarity in the very beginning, she was viscerally attracted to you. These are the things that you cannot, debate. I cannot debate if a woman like looks at me because I'm chiseled, or looks at James because he's an Adonis or whatever, and they're like, they want to fuck right then and there. You can try to go back and forth but you cannot argue with that genuine desire. And that's kind of what you want to provoke. When a woman first is attracted to you, that's what she's attracted to. So if you reduce that over time, she's going to fall out of attraction with you. That's basically what you're saying, right, John?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she was attracted to you for a reason.
Yeah. And that's what the mustache is all about, right? I mean, the mustache is high attraction points. Let's fucking go.
The mustache is just joining the cult, right?
Yeah. We got D-Wag in the chat. I know D-Wag's going to do a stream here in a little bit for his friend who passed away. Shout out to D-Wag, and shout out to his friend. Rest in peace, bro.
Pour one out for his friend.
Yeah, pour one out for his friend. So shout out to you, bro. But yeah, that's basically what you want to do. And I would communicate these things. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at all these pickup artists, all these people that are trying to coach men on how to pick up women. And I'm like, bro, like the majority of this shit's bullshit. Yeah, it's bullshit.
The biggest bullshit ever.
Yeah.
It's the biggest bullshit. So I'll tell you what happens, right? You walk into a room and you catch a bird's eye, and straight away there's either sexual chemistry and passion, or there isn't. You know what I mean? It's like when you see a bird, and what you do, you go up to her and you put it on her, and she'll give you straight away, it'll be a yay or a nay. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, darling, how you doing? Can I buy you a drink?
Yeah.
And it'll be like, yeah, sure, or fuck off. You know what I mean? That's the way it works. Everything starts with sexual chemistry and passion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You catch a bird's eye, she catches your eye. That's how it works. And if you take that away over time, what have you got? You just got two sad fucks in the bed.
You got
ignoring each
roommates.
other.
Yeah, you've got roommates. Now I was gonna ask you. I just lost it for a second. I was trying to read something, but I was gonna ask you, James. I was like, you want to keep that visceral attraction. And a lot of people talk about this. That they say, hey, don't let your girl go out and have like a girls' night out. And, there's some truth to that, because, if the right guy comes along and she's inebriated enough, the right guy could inject that passion into her. Now, they say that a girl knows if she wants to fuck a guy within the first, 60 seconds of meeting him. Is there women in the chat? You tell me this. Is that true? Number one, that women know if they want to fuck?
Well, for me, it's 30 seconds. I believe the statistic is, for me, it's 30 seconds.
Well, I think James just wants to fuck unless somebody says no. Then he's like, all right, never mind. But no, I think let me know in the chat.
Does no mean no, or does no mean maybe?
I think no means get a better line. People, ladies in the chat, tell me when you see a guy, if you know immediately if you want to fuck him or not. And then number two, tell me if he can change your mind. Like, say for example, you meet this person, this guy, and you're like, no, I don't think so. But then can you have attraction grow? I definitely know that you can lose attraction for a guy, because I've watched tons of guys have a sure thing and then they open their mouth and they ruin it. And the girl's like, oh no, okay, never mind. We're not going to fuck. You've seen that, right, James? I mean, you've been out and about. And
if you keep going to the well with the same girl, it's verging on desperate, and desperate's never a sexy look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That you reek of desperation. So it's a fine line. You can maybe have one, maybe two cracks. But after that, mate, you start stinking of desperation.
That's what I was going to say. You get that stink on you. You're no longer attractive. You seem like a tryhard that, is unable to get a woman. John, what are your thoughts on that?
I think if the right guy can make attraction change from a no to a yes.
Okay,
the guy is,
what's the right guy? Talk
someone
to me.
who has a good sense of humor, can get a laugh. Some people don't ooze confidence until they get into your personal space and talk to you, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I think the right kind of person can definitely change a no to a yes.
Yeah.
But that's a lot harder.
Yeah, that's more
than
difficult,
changing
right?
a yes to a no.
Well, also you can't you can't play the friend zone game, right? I tell guys this all the time,
no,
bro.
definitely
If they tell you you're the friend, bro, then fucking either treat them like a friend or bounce completely. You know, don't ever
Yeah.
think it's going to come back around. And don't get used by women who treat you like a friend, you know, to move all their furniture and to do laundry and all that kind of shit. Now, John, I was going to ask you this real quick. Have you ever met a woman that you weren't attracted to that later then you did become attracted to? And what happened there if you did?
I don't think I could just be generalizing way too much, but in general, guys are attracted by the physical.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't think that if I don't find a woman attractive just based on the first 30 seconds or whatever, there's not much she can do short of like if maybe there's a girl who's cute in the face but is just too overweight, maybe something like that. But outside of that, I don't think so. No.
James,
but that's me.
Same question to you. Have you ever met a woman that you weren't initially attracted to that then later something changed your mind? And if so, what was it?
Have you ever heard of that song by Brian Ferry, Roxy Music, Girl of My Best Friend?
Oh, okay.
Now, this is like so my friend got with a girl, right? When we were just hanging around and we were all single, I didn't see it. But when she got with my best friend, I was around her all the time, you know, like the spare wheel.
Yeah.
You know, like when William and Kate got together and like Harry was a spare wheel.
Yeah.
So I was the spare wheel. So we were all hanging out together and suddenly I was like, am I falling in love with my best friend's girl? Because it's like, you know, you're around them practically 24/7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we shared a flat together.
Right.
And I found myself starting to fall in love with my best friend's girlfriend because, you know, you see her and you see their relationship and through no fault of your own, you become envious, you become jealous, and you're like, that could be me.
Was it the relationship part?
It was wholesome. You know what I mean? They were young, they were in love, they were doing all the things that you want to do. You're feeling a bit down because you're single and you're not experiencing it. And it gets into your head, that could be me.
Mm-hmm.
If only I was a snake bastard, but I'm not. So I'm not a snake bastard. But if only I was a real snake bastard. But that was the thing. It starts fucking with your head.
Yeah.
Because you see the relationship that you want. And it starts manifesting itself. It could be me. It's like, because this is the easiest route. It's a lot easier to be a snake bastard than it is to go out and do the hard work yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we're all together as it is. So it's like, I'm kind of like in the relationship without being in the relationship. So like, we're all in a relationship together, except I'm not enjoying the sex. You know what I mean? So it's like, fucking hell, this is a bit annoying. And like, sometimes when he'd be out, we find ourselves alone together, and I'm like, do we have chemistry?
We know how that
or
goes.
Is this just in my head?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do we have chemistry? You know, we're drinking, we're talking, we're flirting. Do we have chemistry, or is this all just in my head? And like, I had to really honestly like grab myself by the scruff of the neck and say, don't be a snake bastard. He's your mate. You know what I mean? Don't be that guy. And I always pulled myself back, but it was very alluring. You know what I mean? It was like,
very voyeuristic.
Imagine the best drug you've ever taken, right? Or the best sexual experience you've ever had. Magnify that by 1,000. You know, it's that intoxicating because it's the girl of my best friend. You know what I mean? It's like, this is ultimate taboo.
Yeah, it's that longing. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, you know, not only the relationship, but it's that taboo aspect. You know, that intensifies it some more, and that makes it really crazy. We had a chat up here I wanted to highlight really quick. We got Darren said that James can't last more than 30 seconds. I don't know about that, bro. I think he'd do okay. I
told you that in private, you bastard.
We got Blue Lotus in chat. She says it depends on if you're a slow burn approach, but sometimes something will happen that turns you off. There's always lust, but I think a consequence before acting on things. Oh yeah, so that's a good way to think about it. We've got Riley. He says, well, I can say from experience that kind of situation is a big test of everyone's character, referring to what James was talking about. He says, I'm personally glad.
I passed the test.
Yeah.
You know, in that Sopranos episode where they get James Gandolfini, they get Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
And the FBI get him in, and they go, I passed the Coast Guard test. Well,
Yeah.
I passed the Coast Guard test. Sadly for Riley, his mucker didn't pass the Coast Guard test.
Yeah, he says he's personally glad to hear that you aren't a snake bastard. Let's fucking go, okay? And he says, I bet that's how Sean felt, but we were not really friends, so it was not very difficult for him to do. Yeah, say Sarah, K Sarah, Sarah. Facts. What I was going to say is that I've had that experience one time. I was working in a restaurant. I wasn't really attracted to any of the women there. Then there was this woman. She was working as a greeter, or as like one of those, when you first walk in into the restaurant, the girl who works at the podium. And one day I've seen her for like 2 or 3 weeks. She was nice, whatever. One day she wore these pants, bro, and her ass was fucking banging. And I was like, let's go. So then that changed it for me in a heartbeat. Then I looked at her kind of different. And I was going to say this, all men need is one thing, right? Maybe you have great legs, maybe you have a great face, maybe you have a great ass, maybe a great rack, maybe very pretty hair. The hair will do it too. But all men need is one thing to lust after, to get that sexual chemistry going. James, what's the easiest one thing for you when you see a woman? Are you an ass man, a hair man, a legs man, fingernails, eyelashes? What do you got? Lips?
I'm an all man. I'm an all man. Everything, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, like I said to you before, it's like a bag of Haribo for me, right?
Yeah.
Where someone goes like they get a bag of sweets and they go, this is my favorite sweet. They're all my favorite sweets. And like, if we bring it back like to the online medium, you'll see it, won't you? Like, you'll just be scrolling your timeline and then someone you follow will post a really hot pic and you're like, fucking hell, drop me out, bruv. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't expect to see it and it just hits you like a fucking truck. I've seen it on there. I've seen fucking Pat post pictures. I've seen Forest Mummy post pictures. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hang on, I need 5 minutes here just to
gotta recover.
You know what I'm saying? Is that I got to have a double, triple, quadruple look here. You know what I'm saying? And I see that with like any girl online. I love women. I respect women. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. It's like a visual medium, isn't it? You're an artist. It's a visual medium. If you see a woman, she's got a nice tan line, or she's in a nice bikini, or she's wearing like a designer clothes, you know what I mean? Or she's got a really nice angle where her tits look great or her ass looks great.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're a man and you're heterosexual, it just blows the fucking top. The beanie would come straight off. You know what I'm saying? It'll blow my top off. You know what I mean? The bald head, there'd be steam on my bald head.
Yeah,
the
facts.
glasses will froth up and I'll be like, fucking hell. And I've seen that, Pat, fucking Forest Mummy. I'm sure there's a 1,000,001, that have posted pics that you're like, Jesus, give this bird a round of applause. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
fucking banging,
and that's both a positive and a negative. Especially with the online space. With all the filters and everything, a guy can get catfish pretty easy out there. Same question to you, John. Are you a legs man, ass man? What is it that you look for? Are you seeing a woman that fucking turns it on or turns the crank for you to get you going? Or does it matter? Do you like, if a woman presents herself in a good package, is that what matters?
Well, I'm in Miami. I'm a legs and ass man.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about it.
I was going to say, yeah, I got to get that little bit of...
Everything else can be mediocre as long as she doesn't have like a hideous face or anything.
Yeah.
An ass will make up for a lot.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But
those Miami butts are wild, aren't they?
Yeah.
Those Miami butts are wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're getting flooded by a bunch of transplants that are getting implants. And kind of muddying up the water.
Butt lifts.
Yeah.
Like Brazilian butt lifts.
I can't stand those.
Yeah, because
I can't stand those. Yeah. I hate any. Gross. I'm not a big fan of injections. I'm not a big fan of implants. I'd rather all natural if possible. But I know that right now women are very keen to be, go over to that to be, they want to try to get that new look. They want to, seduce you. So they get seduced by the plastic surgeon to look the best they can. And before you know it, they look like a fish, right? James, you've seen the fish out there, or John, rather.
Well, Kim Kardashian, I've known Kim Kardashian, right? Because when the Kardashian ass came in, right? All the women down the gym suddenly going mad for the squats, weren't they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've seen women that they had a very like straight up and down figure. Now they've got this, it's beyond hourglass. They've got this ridiculous ass, right? And it looks like they could serve plates off of them, right? They start walking on Monday and their ass follows on a Tuesday. it's mad like how fucking like crazy the asses have got now. And you know where John is in Miami, it's just different level. I always tag him in these videos. I follow this like street fashion or something on YouTube, and it's like you got these women sauntering around with asses, and I'm like, this can't be real. I live in England, I don't see this thing, and then I'm like, California and Miami are like they're different gravies
Yeah, they're
to what I
different.
experience.
Yeah.
It's just a different world. You know what I mean? I can't imagine it's like that on Copacabana Beach, but they call it the Brazilian butt lift, don't they?
Yeah.
And this fucking arse, mate, it's like a fucking apple or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, Carrie.
Peach apple, an apple and a peach.
Carrie in the chat, she says
definite.
she doesn't understand the current beauty standards. I don't either. John, what are your thoughts on it? Like, what's driving the current beauty standards? What's going on here? Because most men don't like what's going on with the beauty standards. What are your thoughts, John?
Honestly, I think it's a lot of the OnlyFans stuff. You know, you have these women that they don't have a figure, but they want to make money on OnlyFans, and then they start getting the surgeries. You know,
Yeah.
you know, the Kardashians definitely pushed that too. Back before the Kardashians existed, there was J-Lo with the giant fucking ass, but hers was, I would imagine, natural. It didn't seem like anything, you know, the craziness that we see these days. But
Yeah.
I mean, even Madonna, have you seen her?
Yeah. Oh my
lately?
God. Yeah. Madonna
She looks like
crazy,
she's got
bro.
a sagging diaper.
Yeah, she looked crazy. My thoughts are this: I think it's gay men and basically the plastic surgery industry, and also trying to make the difference between male and female genders blurred. I think they're trying to make women more masculine and men more feminine. And quite often,
definite.
when you see these facial things that they do to the women's faces, it's like when they get
The facial stuff is gross.
Yeah, they make them look
just
like
gross.
trannies a little bit, or a lot rather, and that's what they look like. And so now you can't really tell. It's getting harder and harder to tell when you go out and about. You got to do the old Crocodile Dundee, handshake when you reach down to the balls and you grab real quick to make sure if they have balls or not, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to check that out. We got Riley in the chat. He says he's decided that the thing that attracts him most to women is what they write or say. I can't overlook a lot of visually unattractive elements if a girl can approach banter on his level. I call bullshit on that, bro. If she's not attractive, you're not going to dip your chip in that dip. That's all I got to say about that. We got Blue Lotus. She says social engineering, 100%. Riley says he's fallen for big boobs and productive skills before, but I just want someone to talk to in my old age. Watching the paint
That
peel.
TV show Nip Tuck's got a lot to blame, though, innit? If you remember that TV show Nip Tuck?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me finish this. Let me finish
then you
this.
had,
Let me finish
sorry,
this.
Ryan.
He says, watching the paint peel, that's a good ending. Yeah. So, Riley, you're going to be back to the big boobs in no time. Now, James, what were you saying about the nip tuck?
I just remember that TV series back in the day when like OC was out. They had a TV series Nip Tuck with that Australian actor that just died. And then if you just flick through your like program guide, you've got all these like body modification shows, haven't you? Like on TLC. I don't know if you get TLC over there.
Yeah.
But you got all those fucking like the geezer that's married to one of the Real Housewives. So Real Housewives of Beverly
Paul.
Hills. I mean, Paul. You know, the one whose eyebrows go like this now, don't they? But
Paul Dubrow.
It's like,
he's married to
he's
Heather
had all
Dubrow.
the surgery in it.
Yeah.
He's got high on his. Imagine, right? You're a surgeon and you see all the horror shows and you get high on your own supply. Suddenly you get a bit old and you start having a little nip, a little tuck, and then suddenly you look like the Bride of Wildenstein. You know what I mean? And you're a man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so alluring. It's so seductive. I always worry. Like I worry for my friends, like Ray and John. You know, they live in California and Miami. One day I'm gonna come on stream and you're gonna look like a different person.
No, I'm gonna have a Brazilian
Like,
butt lift. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It's me with all my crow's feet and
Right.
my grey mustache.
No.
And it's like, what the fuck happened to Ray?
Bro, I decided a long time ago that I was just going to age normal like Tommy Lee Jones, bro. I'm going to have all the wrinkles. I'm going to be a curmudgeon, an angry old man. I'll do moisturizer. I'll do, maybe a face peel, but that's about it. I'm not going to do all this other shit. And I think men who get too captivated on their looks, I think that's kind of gay, bro. Like I'm seeing this clavicular guy. He's walking around. He's he's working so hard. Why? Why is he doing all this?
He spends more time checking out and rating other men.
That's what
than
I'm
he
saying.
does looking at women.
Yeah,
It's
that's what
kinda
I'm saying.
weird.
It's super weird. And he wants to put on like fake shoulder pads and stuff like that to be big. I was never interested in any of that kind of stuff. I don't think any real man is. Real men want to be who we really are. If you want bigger shoulders, go to the gym and get bigger shoulders. Better yet, just be happy with who you are and make yourself the best person possible. It's kind of like what you were saying, James. Women used to be kind of thin or whatever. You look back in the 80s, right? And the body shape has changed. It's been programmed by TLC, by these cable channels, by Instagram. Instagram's huge. And then, John, what you were saying, OnlyFans. Now, OnlyFans is, they got that little stick out there making women millionaires to go ahead and be, the era of the prostitute, basically. How does this end, John? What are your thoughts on that? Does it end? I don't know.
It's hard to say. I mean, I think it ends when guys are just like, I don't want to deal with any of this shit.
Are guys there now? I mean, are we going to get the AI girlfriend, the little machine that you put on your crotch to vibrate? What's going on?
I think that's probably, if it's not out there somewhere, it's on the way, not too far from now.
I know. I heard.
Unfortunately, it's kind of fucked up.
I know Riley in the chat saying he wants a girl who can speak on his level. He's talking about Chat GPT right there, Riley. Be careful, bro.
Yeah.
Don't fall in love with your phone. What were you going to say, James?
Well, I remember when I was growing up, the beauty standard was Elder Body McPherson and Cindy Crawford. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the gold standard. And, there's a few birds there's a few birds, online that have got that type of figure. And I'm not well into that. You know what I mean? But going back to Clavicular, he got like mugged off. He got absolutely mugged off by an OnlyFans girl. He was like going, "Hey, darling, let's meet up. I hear you're single. We can do content. You're an OnlyFans girl." And she's like, "Yeah, isn't your girlfriend over there, you mug?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like these people, it's so weird, isn't it? You're in that environment. They all got fucking girlfriends and they openly cheat on them. If I was Clavicular, I just wouldn't have a fucking girlfriend. Your whole bit is that you go out and pull birds because you're the most beautiful man on the planet.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you wasting your time with? Because if you're that guy, you could have a different bird every night. You don't need to have a girlfriend. It's stupid.
Well, the other thing, too, is you cannot take injectable hormones for a long time. I don't know how many people know this. Even, power lifters, they can't take steroids for a long time. It destroys your body, destroys your organs. For whatever you are injecting into yourself, you're going to age twice as fast, 3 times as fast. I'm thinking about Clavicular. He's taking all of those synthetics. He's going to age. He's going to look like he's 60 or 70 by the time he hits 27, 28, 29, 30.
How old is he? Is he still a teenager?
I think he's 21.
He's in his 20s.
No. Yeah,
his 20s.
He got arrested for a fake ID, so I think he's 20. We got Riley in the chat. He says Clavicular is going to end up hideous and androgynous. The way everyone is becoming a big gray square is leading to the Harrison Bergeon world. I'm not sure what the Harrison Bergeon world. Drop it in the chat, Riley, so you can clarify me on that. Let's see. We got the female body has also been engineered by our food. Oh, King Yeti, that is a very profound statement. We got fast food, we got all that kind of stuff. We got 80% of the women in America are overweight or obese right now, eating synthetic calories coming out of the preservatives, of the chemicals, and the fast food. That's 100% right. Riley says he's looking for an AI girlfriend. That's a good idea. He's going to date Grok. FOMO says you got to find ladies who were never on birth control, which is good luck. FOMO, that is base, bro. There's been studies out there. I didn't even think about that. There's been studies out there that show that when women are on birth control, they prefer more feminine men. When they get off of birth control, they prefer more masculine men. Also, the birth control messes up with their internal, their lymph nodal system and all of their endocrine system that produce their hormones, and it changes their brain chemistry. John, have you ever experienced that? I mean, you're down there in Miami. I can't imagine a lot of those Miami women, they're Catholic or taking birth control. What's going on down there?
I'm pretty sure they're almost all on birth control.
Oh, all of them are. It's in the water now, isn't it? Have you seen that?
Probably.
There's traces of birth control in the water now.
It would not shock me one bit.
Yeah.
Birth control is pretty common down here.
Yeah.
They're all doing it. Some women don't, just because they realize it affects them like emotionally and shit.
Yeah.
And sometimes even physically, but most of them are. Most of them definitely are, especially at the younger age, the women that you'll see out in the clubs and stuff.
Oh yeah, man, they're all on it. Not to mention the other shit that they're smoking. You can't even get pure cocaine anymore. It's all got that fentanyl in it. It's got that Molly mixed in, and got that Tucci to loosen up your asshole. All that shit. You got to watch out there. All right, we got Carrie C. She says, Ray, you don't know Von Guts Harrison Bergeon? Maybe I do know it. Maybe I'm just not pronouncing it right. Riley says it's a satirical dystopian short story by Kurt Vonnegut Jr., first published in 1961, set in 2081, where the U.S. government enforces total equality by handicapping citizens. Yeah, I have heard of that. Yeah, like if you're too fast, they cut off your leg or something like that. Yeah. FOMO says they convinced parents to just put girls on it for the weirdest thing. Yeah, I remember back in the day, everybody said women wanted to get on birth control so their acne could clear up. How crazy is that? Riley says strength or beauty. The story that follows is Bergeron family, particularly their exceptionally gifted son Harrison, who rebels against the system by escaping prison, removing his handicaps on live TV. Oh, wow. So, wow, I might have to check that out. We might have to do I know, John, we keep saying we're going to do these streams, but we're going to do it. I've been trying to get this audio done.
Yeah.
Apparently, I pretty much got it 100% right. I just got to get it so that you guys on Zoom can see it. I mean, can hear it in real time. FOMO says, honestly, cokehead of give you less than trouble than SSRIs these days. 100%. Especially if, I know cocaine that leaves your system within, I think it's like 10 hours or something like that. Is it 3 days?
3 days, it's fully gone, yeah.
3 days? Yeah, I know. And then weed takes longer, doesn't it? I think cocaine's one of the fastest
weed
ones.
Depends on your BMI, but, and also depends on how often you smoke it. If you don't, like you, for instance, you're thin, fit. If you smoked it and you're not a regular smoker, it would be out of your system.
Oh, okay. Pretty quick.
In like a week max.
Okay.
But if you were like a fatter guy, it would stay in longer. If you were a regular smoker, it would stay in longer.
It gets put in your fat cells, yeah. We got Riley in the chat. He says he asked his new AI girlfriend for that summary. So apparently we're making love connections here on this show. Riley got himself a new AI girlfriend. Love it. Blue Lotus says she had to be on birth control for a long time for polycystic ovarian syndrome. Damn, ouch. Without it, she would have had other medical issues. I'm sorry, but for that, I hope you're okay now, though. And I hope it didn't impact anything into the future. Yeah, you got to watch out for these. It's so funny because women are always talking about how they got a screen for men. Really, it's the other way around. Men, you have no idea what could be in the closet of the woman that you're trying to take out on a date. What are some of the craziest skeletons you found, James? Have you found women with crazy ass skeletons in their closet? Like all of a sudden you find out their parents are really, pirates, or maybe they're jippos or something like that?
I don't know, really. Let me have a think. I generally find I don't like women who are too into their dads.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Daddy's girls.
Yeah.
I don't really like that because like I find that with my cousin. When I go to my cousin's gaff, right? As soon as the father-in-law enters the room, my cousin gets diminished.
Oh.
Everyone defers to him, and it's his house. The daughter is married to my cousin.
Okay.
But as soon as her father enters the room, she defers to her husband. She defers to her father on all things, even if it like emasculates her husband.
Ooh.
Or even if he contradicts her husband. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel bad for my cousin because it's his house that he's bought and paid for with his hard work. He's got 2 children with his wife, and yet as soon as the father enters the room, his father-in-law, all that goes out the window, and it's like, hey, Daddy, you're the ultimate. You're better than my husband. I defer to you on all things. What do you say, Dad?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Shut up, Pat. Shut up. Dad knows best. And it's like, when I see that, that really turns me off, because you know what I mean? Because you'll always be second best.
Yeah.
Even when he's dead, even when he dies.
Yeah.
Oh, my dad would have never done that.
Yeah.
My dad would have never said that to me. If my dad was here, you'd be put in your place. You know what I mean? I can't live.
Yeah, that's
as arrogant as I am. as arrogant as I am, I can't live in that world.
Yeah.
I have to live in the world where I'm king. You know what I mean?
100%.
I'm king of the castle. I can't live in that world.
Yeah. I'm going to say
that's when you got to bust out the Sean Connery treatment.
Yeah, you got to give him the old backhand smack. That's right. We got Dr. Ice, formerly known as Dry Ice. He says he used to smoke weed a lot when he was younger. It took 3 weeks, and he wasn't a fat guy either. John, have you dated women where you found crazy skeletons in their closet? Like perhaps they used to run around with a biker gang, or maybe they were previously a circus freak or something like that. The high trapeze, maybe shot out of a cannon. Maybe they were half midget, or maybe their leg came off and you were freaked out, but the sex was better. Shockingly, what do you think?
No crazy skeletons in the closet. When I was dating them, it was like we were all into the skeletons together, you know?
Okay, yeah, okay.
Going out partying and, those were fun relationships, but, they don't last long.
Oh yeah,
That's for
yeah.
damn sure.
Yeah, if you bond over partying and over, drug use or whatever, that's not going to be a thing to sustain a relationship a long time, but it can be fun for a summer or maybe a couple of weeks or something like that.
Sometimes on and off for 5 years,
Yeah,
it happens.
100%, bro. 100%. Yeah. But you got to watch out for women. You don't know. And then there's also a lot of things that unfortunately happen to little girls with an uncle or something like that. And then, that could impact, your sexual relationship nowadays, later when you're going through it and you don't even know. And like, they don't want to talk about it. They just don't like to be touched or something like that. You don't find out until after you're in the relationship and you're like, everything about this girl is fantastic, except for the fact that she doesn't like sex, or maybe,
I think you find that out kind of early,
Well,
unless you're like a Catholic and you're like saving it for marriage, then you kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Well, I've also met these girls who are like, they'll go hoe around, but as soon as you're a good guy, they don't want to have sex with you because they're like, oh, this could be a good relationship. So they say, I want to make you wait so that, we have a better relationship. And you're like, what? Oh, you were just fucking my buddy the other day or whatever. What's going on with that? Yeah.
That's an instant disqualifier, no?
No, 100%.
It should be. That's a red flag.
But as soon as a woman gets this idea that you could be a potential husband or they could have a family or something like that, there's a lot more stress, a lot more pressure. And you can actually, if you know that, you can see their behavior change. John, have you ever had that happen? Have you seen anything like that? Even with your friends, you can see it in their relationships.
Yeah, oh, definitely. But I mean, that should be a red flag. I mean, if I see my friends dating someone like that, it's like, wait a minute. But she's a hoe. And she's holding out. No.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
It's kind of, and nowadays it's kind of like you look for the fewest red flags, because it seems like every woman you come across has red flags. Maybe that's the way when women are looking at men, but it sure seems like, women have a much larger opportunity since the men come to them. Women do not go to men to try to solicit a date or a relationship. James, have you run across many women or seen like women like with your friends and relationships that have these kind of red flags and to steer around? Is that the majority of women, or the minority of women? What would you say?
Well, I don't know. Who's that conservative influencer that pretended to be a virgin? I mean, that's a pretty big
Sarah
red flag,
Stock.
no?
Yeah, Sarah Stock. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
was wild.
fucking hell. Can you imagine that? So you're going through your relationship and she's denying you sex, and you're not a fucking virgin.
Right.
And this bitch is denying you sex, and she's fucking shagging everything in sight. And then when you get to the wedding night and you're going, blimey, there's no claret on the bed. Are you sure you're a virgin, darling? You know what I'm saying? It's like fucking, it's like you find out she shagged every fucking guy
Yeah.
that's in your friend group, and you're like, fuck me, I've married a whore.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm getting a divorce straight away, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to get that annulled. But also, doesn't that say something about your friends if they don't tell you? Like, like if I was your buddy and like, I'll be like, yo, homie, before you get married, I'm just letting you know she's been sleeping around on you, dog. Or, hey, she's been with guys before you in the friend group, just letting you know. And you'll be like, fuck me, she told me that she was a virgin.
Do you know what that obviously boils down to? That obviously boils down that he's not the ultimate male. He's not an alpha male. He's a weak man that would turn on his friends. He's like, don't you say that about my future wife. I don't believe you. She's pure as the driven snow. That's the type of geezer he obviously was, that can be easily manipulated, easily led, doesn't know where his girlfriend or fiance is at the time, and probably won't know where his wife is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's going to have to spend the rest of his life now, if he stays married to her, when they're not in the same room together, wondering if she's cheating on him. That'll never leave his head. So he's obviously a weak man, and the only way he can uncouple himself from being a weak man and take the power back is divorce her and find a woman that won't make him look like an absolute muppet.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, John?
Oh, well, I mean, I'll tell you straight up. If I have if I was about to marry a girl and my friend waited until I was about to get married, that guy's a dickhead.
Right?
I mean,
seriously,
before.
Right? Yeah, it's like, bro, save me some trouble here.
For real.
Let me know.
That's a bad friend.
Yeah, at least give me the inside track. I mean, if it destroys your friendship, at least later when, their marriage goes under, he'll come back to you and say, bro, you were the only real friend I had. I should have listened to you. You know, and I've had a few guys do that with me in the past, and they come back and they say, "Man, Ray, I should have listened to you, dog. You told me like 4 years ago. Now I'm like, now I'm giving half my shit to her. She's leaving me and all this kind of stuff, and it's no good." What were you saying?
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't. If you're a true friend to someone, if you see your friend dating someone with a bunch of red flags, call it out. Call it out early.
Facts.
When it doesn't hurt, when the person's not emotionally invested. Like, why wait until things get serious and then be like, oh yeah, she's a hoe? Like, that doesn't help anybody, and then you're just the dickhead who's jealous or whatever.
Yeah, it's like waiting for my turn on the bike, right? I mean, that's kind of like
at that point, she's already gained his trust over everyone else because he's about to get married to her.
Right, and then that's why women, because they have secrets in the past, start to isolate the men from their friends because they don't want any of those secrets coming back, and then it becomes very cultish. We got Darren in the chat. He says, hashtag listen to Ray. Let's fucking go. D-Wag, he knows what's up. Listen to Ray. Let's fucking go.
He's such a brown noser. He's the worst brown noser
No,
I've ever seen in my life.
D-Wag's not a brown noser. He's just calling it like it is.
He's such a. You know why? You know why he's a brown noser? He wants another mug. He's desperate for another mug, right? That's what he wants, another mug. He's so desperate. He's such a brown noser, I tell you.
No, I'm about the mugs. I am getting ready to release about 12 new designs, so keep a lookout for that. I'm going to post it on my Twitter. But no, bro, if he wants a mug, he just ask for one. I'll make him one. I'll design him one. Anybody who wants a mug, if you want to design, just hit me up. I'll be happy to do it.
He's so needy. He's such a needy individual, isn't he?
Come on.
Seeking validation. You know, what a needy little fellow he is.
Yeah.
I tell you. We love you, D-Wag. You're the greatest. You're the greatest.
No, here's another thing. We got Carrie in the chat. She's talking about some situation that she had feminine problems, that she was miserable, had mood swings, irregular cycles, a painful cyst, medication shrank it down so she didn't have to get surgery, regulated a lot of things in her body. And, then Blue Lotus says it's a little bit TMI for the men in the chat. And while that might be true, I think men need to start learning about this stuff so that we can understand what women are really going through. It seems like a lot of the things men are really kind of kept in the dark about, and the women act in all these kind of crazy ways. One of the tests for me is like, I've dated, I had a girlfriend for a long time, and every once in a while she would ask me to pick up whatever her feminine products were from the fucking store. I had no problem doing that. Like, I don't give a fuck. And I think men need to be like that. We're gonna if my woman needs something, I'm gonna get it for her. I'm not gonna have embarrassment for getting the the tampons or Tampax or whatever it is. But I'm also gonna get them heavy duty XL Magnum condoms and put them down right next to it, right, James?
Yeah. Do you remember that, like when you see those programs, right, or you see the TV shows or films, and you have the embarrassment when the people go up to the desk and they buy condoms? When you first start buying them. I was like this. I'm buying condoms because I'm having sex.
That's right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not buying them. I'm not buying them to put on my wall as a display case. You know what I'm saying? I'm buying them because I'm having sex. I'm proud. I'm shagging women.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah. I outgrew mom and dad a long time ago, and I'm just like, who gives a fuck, man? I'm out here having sex. Let's fucking go.
I'll tell you, by the time I was like 18 years old, I'd shagged more women than most men have had at dinners. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was straight on it from the jump. You know what I mean? I was straight on it.
Let's go.
The legal age in our country is 16. Most people are doing it long before that. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I was fucking straight on it like a car bonnet. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even like a fucking issue. You see a woman, right, and it's like, fuck me. At an early age, I was like, do you know women? They are the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
You get a flick. When the hormones kick in, the switch flicks, and you're like, there's tits.
Yeah.
There's arse.
Fantastic.
Hair.
Best thing ever made.
This is the most. But the moral of the story is, and I think good women are hard to find. People like Pat, Forrest Mummy, Kerry, was it Blue Lotus?
Yeah, Blue Lotus.
Good women are hard to find.
That's true.
Good women are hard to find. That's the trick. It's easy to shag a bird, but good women are hard to find. The keepers.
Speaking of Pat, we got a Ko-Fi from Pat. She says, great stream. Keep crushing. Let's fucking go. Play that little sound effect right there. Come on now. Let's go. We had Riley. He said, when you start a relationship with cheating, you will get cheated on. His ex left her boyfriend for him after cheating on him with a random guy on Tinder before she hooked up with me. It's all karma. Yeah, bro, you cannot.
I'm old. I don't understand these dating sites. I'm like an old man who's like, whatever happened to going to the bar, mate? I want to go to the bar.
Yeah,
mate. I
that's a
love
lot of
that
fun.
shit,
Yeah,
man.
that's a lot of fun.
I love the feel, man. It's good.
No, but Riley makes a great point. If you take a woman from another man will take that woman for you. He also makes another good point. He doesn't understand any I'm grossed out childness when it comes to buying anything sold at the store. Facts. Yeah. I've always just wanted to deliver delight. That's my goal in life, to my woman, to my viewers, to my readers, to my audience. You deliver delight. You know what I'm saying?
I front it. I'll go straight to the desk and buy the extra small condoms.
Yeah.
And I'm like the biggest guy in the room. You know? It's like,
Yeah, we got King Yeti in the chat. He says, who is Pat? And that's Pat is, let me scroll up real quick to her name. What is Seashell SoCal? I think that's her name here on YouTube. So shout out to Seashell SoCal. Thank you. What are your thoughts on that, John? About any of that I just dumped a lot right there. So you can pick what you think.
It's hard to find a good woman. It really is. Most women are self-centered, self-serving, me types. You gotta try to find women like in everyday life instead of, the typical places like bars, clubs, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's just when you find a good one, do right.
Yeah, hold on to her. When you find a good one, hold on to her. That's what I would say. 100%.
Yeah.
do you remember the old school one when you used to meet women when you're at work, right? And you imagine you've got a normal job. Do you remember how you used to meet a woman in the water cooler or the fax machine?
Yeah, yeah.
But when they started, I hate using this fucking word, but it's the only word I can think of. But do you remember when everything went woke?
Yeah.
You couldn't do that anymore.
Right,
could
you couldn't. No.
You couldn't go up to a bird and chat her up or give her a pat on the bum or whatever because she report you to HR.
Yeah.
You know, the era that we grew up in, we were free to do that and experience it.
Yeah.
And have that experience. But these modern guys, they have to fucking do the online shit because at work they'll just jump straight to it. Sexual harassment in the workplace.
Yeah.
We never got that. It didn't exist. It wasn't a thing.
Well, you had to be a little bit of an artiste about it, right, James? You had to do a little bit of a tap dance socially.
Finesse it.
Yeah, understand these social interactions to become a master of them to try to finesse a woman, and then she would respond to that. They're definitely dumbing down the next generation with social interaction. They don't understand how to do anything. They're just a bunch of retards that claim autism and want the world then to bend around them instead of them bending out around the world.
You remember that guy, don't you, that we brought up at the TwitchCon?
Yeah, that guy.
Where he turned up and he just put it on that streamer, didn't he? He just groped her and kissed her.
Yeah. No, 100%. That's exactly it. We got Riley in the chat. He says, James, you can't ask women with big boobies to make a comprehensive list of the highest rated episodes of the X-Files. And my AI girlfriend just did it. So fuck women. So Riley, that's why
Riley's on a different level to me. We're all going to be working for him one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When Riley takes over and he's like, James, do you want a job? I'll be like, yeah, I suppose so. What am I going to do?
Yeah, no, facts. And I think Riley's ahead of the curve on that. He's already in the AI. He's going to be leading the charge with that. With the next generation, he's on the cutting edge.
It's like him and Adonis Paul, isn't it?
Yeah.
The only person on Ministry of Dude that's got anything about them, Adonis Paul. The rest of them in the bin, mate. In the bin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
I'm
facts.
starting a feud in the war.
No, they're great guys, but we can beef with them. We can beef with them.
I'm just playing, guys. I love you to bits.
But listen,
please,
no, if
don't leave me hanging. Acknowledge your betters.
Yeah, when James is in the chat, give him a shout out, and if he gets a spot on the little pop on the show a few times, let's fucking go. Let's make that happen. We got Mr. Jiki in the chat. He says he's been married for 22 years, seen almost all the lady part issues, and that's what a real man does. A real man deals with it, right? Just like we have
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, congratulations, Mr.
22
Jiki.
years.
Yeah, that's fire. You deal with your car issues, you deal with your dog issues, you deal with their lady issues. You don't have any shame about it. You just get the job done. You get them running optimally so they can live happy in a healthy, loving, long life. That's what the whole point is. Riley says, make sure you include that in the promo, Ray. Okay, I'm going to include that in the promo. We'll get that done. But we're about ready to wrap it up here, guys. The 2 hours just flew by. I don't know about you guys in chat, but I was having a
I
blast.
love it, man.
Yeah.
I always enjoy it.
We're having a blast. So
Always a pleasure, never a chore.
Yeah,
That should be
exactly.
the thing.
Definitely.
Exactly. Well, we got to get that podcast beef going with the Ministry of the Dude. We got to come after him now, bro. Maybe I should,
I'm going to have to get a stepladder to slap the shit out of that Johnny Rocket. I
Yeah.
he's 6'6", mate.
Is
I'm
Johnny
5'9".
Rocket 6'6"?
I'm 5'9" and he's 6'6".
Is he really 6'6"? Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah.
That's I hear he's a big dude, isn't he? So I'm going to have to get a stepladder to slap the shit out of
Yeah,
him.
he's in the land of the giants. So let's fucking go. But yeah, we'll have a little podcast beef with those guys. Also, you guys be thinking about wrapping it up. I'm going to jump down in the chat and say goodbye to everybody. We got a clip of verse in there. He says, you're supposed to take care of your partner if their body fails. Yeah. You can't be squeamish about commitment.
Well, Ethan's doing that. Fair play and a shout out to Ethan Van Sciver.
Great point.
You know, I've said things about Ethan Van Sciver, but as a man, you can't say anything about him, and I will defend him. You know, a lot of the people like the Rippaverse guys and the anti-CG that D-Wag talks about, they absolutely cuss the man out. But as a man, you can't fault him. He's looking after his wife and he's looking after his child, and he deserves respect for that.
Well, not only respect, but he also deserves a little bit of adulation for going through such a traumatic experience with his wife and still maintaining not only his comic books, but also his online persona to bring in the money. He's doing a hell of a job over there. I think he's doing a wonderful job. You know, let's see what else we got up in here. We got Mr. Jeeky, shout out to you. We got Seashell SoCal. She says she's Pat. Let's fucking go. Shout out to Pat. Thank you, Pat, for the super chat. Thank you, Carrie C, for the super chat. Basically, facilitating this show, being our big donors today. I sure appreciate that. John, final thoughts, wrapping it up, and where can people find you? And that's right. That's right. That's right. He got the purple glasses, and we'll be doing a couple other podcasts here pretty soon with John on a Thursday. James, what are your final thoughts, and where can people find you, buddy? Oh, we got to hold on, James. I think the audio dumped out. Hold on, guys. Let me get the audio. This is the first time it's ever done it twice in one stream, so I really got to figure that out. I know. I'm fixing it, guys. I'm fixing it. And also, I want you.
I'm breaking up the band.
James is saying when he gets big, he's going solo. We just got it. Okay, James. You're back. I want you to do your final thoughts again, and also what I want you to do is I want you to do. James, I want you to cut a beef promo for Ministry of the Dude. Tell them how you're gonna come and slap the shit out of them. Okay.
Right. I go in the chat in Ministry of Dude, and they show me complete disrespect, and I'm like, I could iron out your whole fucking crew in like 5 seconds. It's not even going to be hard for me. It'd be like fucking breakfast. You know what I'm saying? But like when I go in your chat, show deference, show respect to your betters because I am better than you. I've been doing this for 5 fucking minutes and I've got more charisma in my little pinky than you've got in your entire body. You know, you just haven't got it. You know, you got that geezer from Brazil. What's his name? Mumbles? Johnny Mumbles? You got the other geezer who's like married to Haley from American Dad. Hey, I'm Jeff. I'm 6'6". I don't give a flying fuck, mate. You get ironed out as well. And then you got on the John, who's about this and about that. He's about everything but showing me respect and fucking giving some love to our stream, you know, me, John, and Ray. You know what I mean? He puts us on the pay no mind list. And then you got Dr. Till. Yeah, you got a fit missus. That's great. but I could take her away just like that. Have you ever thought about that, son?
Yeah, facts. Everybody go give James a follow on YouTube, James Domenico Grabbin, and also follow him on X, James Domenico Grabbin. We'll see if we can't hype this beef up a little bit more. Thanks everybody in the chat. Shout out to Zaid for jumping in the very end here. Shout out to Seashell SoCal. Thanks, Pat. And also Carrie for your guys' support. That meant a lot today. That was awesome. Shout out to Riley, Mr. Jeeky. Who else we got up in there? Just trying to nail everybody that I saw. You guys have a fantastic Wednesday. Go kick some ass. Knuckles in the chat. Knuckles on the stream. Let's get the hell out of here.